Hello friends, welcome to Lucifer Talks. Many of you have asked to make a video around Master's Graduate Stream of Ontario. So here I am with the information as requested by you guys. So this is going to be useful for those who are seeking admission in a master's degree program at Ontario Public University with a thought of applying for permanent residency. So we have to learn how this works. So the nomination for permanent residence in Ontario, if you have a master's degree program from Ontario University, will make you eligible for PR. The master's graduate stream is an immigration stream under the Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program. It gives international graduates with an Ontario master's degree the opportunity to apply to permanently live and work in Ontario. You must apply online to be nominated by the Ontario government for permanent residence. If you're nominated, your next step is to apply to federal government through Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, IRCC. IRCC makes the decision. They are the final decision maker as to who will become a permanent resident. So before you apply, you must make sure that you meet all the mandatory requirements. This stream has a number of requirements you must meet before you can apply. So the first and foremost, the most crucial is you need to understand the application process. You have to apply online through the OINP e-filing portal. It takes about 2 hours to complete the application. You do not have to do the complete application in one session. You can save your work and return to it later, but you must submit your application within the 14 calendar days after you register, or your application registration will expire. So make sure you have completed this application within 14 days. And they are still accepting the applications in new registrations under this stream. So you can complete the application yourself, or you can have a representative complete it on your behalf. The fee for this process is 1,500 Canadian dollar to apply. You have to pay by credit card. IRCC accepts Visa, Visa debit, MasterCard or MasterCard debit. You have to provide all your supporting documents. You also need to make sure that all your supporting documents are in English or French, scanned and ready to upload when you apply. Okay? If you do not have your application ready, and if it's incomplete, it will be returned back to you with your application fee. Everything would be returned back if it's an incomplete application. You can apply to the master's graduate stream if you meet all the criteria in the sections or categories mentioned by IRCC. You don't need a job offer to apply. So you should refer to the sections elaborated by Ontario Regulation 422, Section 17 for more details on each requirement for this category. So first and foremost is education. To qualify, you must have completed the requirements necessary to get a master's degree. This means at least one academic year of full-time study, that is at least 15 hours of instruction per week over the academic year, including any period, yes, any period of training in the workplace as part of your studies. That can include co-op as well. Part-time studies may qualify if the program is equivalent to at least one full-time academic year. The degree is from an eligible university in Ontario. So there's a list of eligible Ontario public universities. You don't qualify if you're enrolled as a student when you're applying unless it is for the purpose of meeting the requirements to be licensed in a regulated occupation in Ontario, or you are also working full-time in Ontario. So keep these things in mind. You don't qualify if you have received a bursary, grant, or scholarship that requires you to return to your home country after you have received your master's degree. You may only apply after you have fulfilled those commitments and can demonstrate an intention to live in Ontario. So that's clear, I hope. You have to meet the language requirements. You must be able to understand, read, write, and speak in English or French at a Canadian language benchmark, CLB level 7 or higher. It would be very easy for you to obtain this level of English proficiency, because once you have already in a master's program, you have done it, you have those skills. To prove that you have the mandatory language skills, you must take an approved English or French language test before you submit your application to the stream. The test must not have been taken more than 2 years from the time you submit your application. When you come as a student, you apply for IELTS Academic. When you apply for immigration, you need IELTS General. So keep that in mind. So that's the exam which you have to appear to fulfill the English language requirement. Canadian English Language Proficiency Index Program, that is CELPIP, that is the general test only. It is also acceptable for this particular purpose. For French, you can submit a TEF score. So it's like test d'evaluation of Francais. So TEF is the one which would be good enough for you to submit for showing your proficiency in the French language. So to learn more about the English and French language tests, you can always go on the CIC's website. If they update anything, you'll be able to see that. Other categories, Residency Ontario. So you must have lived in Ontario for at least 1 year in the past 2 years before you apply. Note that your 1 year of residency can be cumulative, so it could be in bits and pieces. This means that there can be gaps, provided that all the periods of residency in Ontario add up to 12 months within the past 2 years before you apply. There is a need of settlement of funds, so you must have enough money to support yourself and your dependent family members when you settle in Canada. Okay? That a family member includes your spouse, common law partner, and children under the age of 22, including their children. So these can also change as per the government's mandate. These norms can change at any point of time. You can meet this requirement through one of the combination: funds as demonstrated by the balance listed in the bank statements, or statements of accounts showing other investments such as non-locked in, fixed term deposits, mutual funds, etc. So you can show in those forms. Annual earnings from ongoing employment in Ontario, and or a job offer in Ontario. So if you have a job offer in Ontario, then you don't need to show any settlement of funds. So you can learn more about the requirement of funds. That's also available on the website. You can go on the section saying how much money you will need. For example, you have checked how much money you must have available, and based on your family size, you must have 29,000 Canadian. You have a job offer in Ontario with an annual wage of, let's say, 35,000, and you have a balance of another 5,000 in your savings account for a total of $35,000. By using a combination of your job offer and bank statement, you would meet the settlement funds. Actually, if you have done a master's degree from a public institution, you certainly are making way more than what's being said. So if you provide bank statements that include a one-time large deposit, then the CIC, the IRCC might have some objections as to where that money came from. So be sure that that money is your own, you've not borrowed from someone else. You must demonstrate an intention to live in Ontario. You must intend to live and work in Ontario after you're granted permanent residence. So IRCC will determine this by examining your ties and your interest to be in Ontario, which can include doing things like working or have worked in Ontario, getting a job offer or applying to a job, interviewing for jobs, studying, volunteering, or leasing or owning a property, or visiting someone, a professional networks, affiliations, family ties, or social personal relationships in the province. Okay, so residency at the time of application is crucial, that you must be in Ontario. So at the time you apply, you must be either living in Ontario with legal status, that could be study permit, work permit, visitor record, or if you're living outside Canada, then there are chances that you will not qualify to apply. So you don't qualify if you're living in a province or territory in Canada other than Ontario at the time you apply. So keep the legal status in mind. So there are things which are applicable on you and some things might not be applicable to you. If you're applying from within Canada, you must have a legal status, that is a visitor record, study permit, or a work permit at the time you apply, and should maintain that status until the time of nomination. So you may apply if you are in implied status at the time of your OINP application submission. Implied status means that you submitted an application to the Immigration, Refugee and Citizenship Canada to renew, extend your temporary status document, a visitor record, work permit, study permit, before its expiry date. Okay, so you can remain in Canada and continue to work or study under the same conditions as your existing permit until a decision is made on your pending IRCC application. So application period is also a crucial one. You must submit your application within 2 years of completing the requirements necessary to obtain your master's degree. So you finish your program within 2 years, you must apply under this category to file for immigration. This means that the date on your degree must be within the 2 years of your OINP application submission date. For example, if your degree is dated June 1st, 2017, you must apply to this stream before June 1st, 2019. If you don't have your degree yet, use the date on the official letter from your university which states when your degree will be granted. So you need to look into that. Okay. You must have completed your master's degree before you submit your application. That's important. Supporting documents have to be put in the file so that it can be seen that you have met all the requirements, and the document should be validated, and the information in your application which you have provided meets the eligibility criteria. Then only you will be able to secure your residency. So all supporting documents must be scanned and uploaded on your online application. You should refer to the document checklist for the master's graduate stream for a list of mandatory documents. If your supporting document is not in English or French, you should provide a copy of the document which is translated by an approved authorized translator. You should read the document translation and notarization for more information, so refer to it. If you do not upload the required documents, your application will be returned. So make sure you're not wasting your time. You have all paperwork in order. So cost to apply, as I said in the starting of the video, your application fee is $1,500 and covers the cost of processing your application. IRCC accepts Visa, Visa debit, MasterCard debit only, and even the refund is given to those cards which were used. So they will refund the fee if they find that your application is incomplete or you withdraw your application before they start processing it. Okay, you will not get any refund of the fee if your application is unsuccessful. That means you applied but you were not successful, then the fee is not going to be refunded. You can check the status of the application through your account in OINP e-filing portal. Okay, you're free to use a representative to apply. You may choose to appoint an authorized representative such as an immigration consultant or a lawyer to provide evidence or help with the application process and to act on your behalf with the OINP. If you wish to appoint a representative, they must create an account in the OINP e-filing portal and then submit your application through the portal on your behalf. Okay, so you can learn more about representatives and how to appoint one. You can access the directory of authorized IRCC, RCIC licensed professionals through the portal, and every information you need is transparent and available for you. So there are chances that you'll be able to find a consultant who can process your case on your behalf if you need any help. So those options are always available. The entire application has to be done online. So you'll fill the application online, you'll upload all the documents online, you'll pay the fee, and you'll submit it. So as you're already in Canada, you've already done your master's graduate program from Ontario, your chances of becoming successful through this category are always on the higher side. Okay, so that's what you should keep in mind. And I'll say any graduate student who is in Ontario and who intends to make Ontario their home, they should look at the options, and this is one of the best possible way for you to succeed in getting your residency. And Ontario, being the economic engine of Canada, is the place where majority of people want to stay. So good luck in your search, and I hope you like the information I provided you in this video. And if you haven't subscribed so far, please like and subscribe to my video. This way you'll be able to get more updates through my channel. Thank you very much, and take care for now.